der Stein und die Sonne uns lacht. Der Tag kühlen heiß, ohne eiskalt die Nacht. Bestaunt sind die Gesichter.
Okay, welcome back. Today we are again playing some Clash of Steel. We're going to have the Germans against the Soviets in a 150-point game. Today we are going to be playing the central attack scenario, which means long table edges. And here's a quick look at our table setup. We've got some farm area over here with plenty of buildings to hide behind, some fields to give some concealment. We've got some industrial areas with some larger type buildings to hide behind. We've got like a fenced in steel yard going on over here. So, and this is where we're at. Nice look at the whole table there. And we have objectives number 1 and 2 there in the center. So that's our table for today. We will take you guys over to the armies. Here's our German forces for today. We're testing out some of the new tanks from the War of Unification set. So we have leading the German forces, we have an E100 15 centimeter. We have 2 squads of 4 Tiger IIs. We have a squad of 4 Jagd Tigers and a squad of 3 of the new Scorpions. So there we go. Not a lot of tanks for 150 points, but we'll work with what we have. We should have some effective shooting and some high AT, so we'll see how that stacks up against the Soviets. Here's a look at our cards right here. I'm really excited to see how the 15 centimeter E100 works. This is our first time fielding that, and our first time fielding the Scorpions, so should be fun. I will take you guys over and we'll see what the Soviets are bringing today. All right, what do the Soviets have in store for us with 150 points?
They'll be led by an IS-7, and there are also 3 more IS-7s, 8 IS-3s, 14 T-54-3s, 5 ISU-130s, and 5 ISU-122s.
30s and 122s. Nice. All right. So we will go ahead and get things set up. The Germans are going to be the attackers starting over here. The Soviets are going to be the defenders starting over here. So we will get all deployed and come back and show you guys how things look. All right, here we are all deployed. I'll go down the German forces, squad of Tiger IIs, Jagd Tigers, Scorpions, E100, and the other squad of Tiger IIs. You want to go down the Soviet line for me?
Got the... man, all these numbers. The T-54-3s, ISU-122s, IS-3s, IS-7s, IS-7 General behind the building there, IS-3s.
Over there, IS-3s.
Oh, those are the 130s. These are the 122s.
Gotcha.
And more T-54-3s.
All right, so there we are. We'll go ahead and roll to see who's going first. Looks like the Soviets are going first, and go ahead and flip over our first objective card.
Hold.
What's it say?
This game lasts 1 turn longer.
All right, so right now we're looking at a 7-turn game. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll get started, and we'll bring you guys back after Soviet turn 1. All right, a very fast turn one for the Soviets. Uh, we forgot to mention that the Soviets took the command card for route march, so they get an extra 4 inches to their dash speed. These, what are these, T-54s?
Yeah.
These T-54s did a whopping 20-inch or 24-inch dash up to here to get closer to Objective 2. Those guys went from that far corner over there all the way through the fields and around, closer to Objective 1. The IS-3s and 7s moved up. The ISU-130s didn't move at all, and neither did the ISU-122s. So no shooting for the Soviet turn because everything's either out of range or dashed. And so we are going to go over to the German turn one and see how we're going to respond to this rapid movement of the Soviets. This is how things sit at the end of German turn one. These Tigers moved up. Jagd Tiger stayed in place. The Scorpions blitzed. The E-100 failed its blitz, so it just did a regular move, so it couldn't shoot at all. And those Tigers came around the corner. Over here, the King Tigers tried to shoot off at these guys, didn't do anything. Between the Jagd Tigers and the Scorpions, they destroyed 3 T-54s. And over here, these King Tigers, they bailed out one of those T-54s, but he remounted at the end of the turn. The Soviets were just in range to score that objective. So right now the Soviets are on top with 3 points to 0 at the end of German turn 1. And we are getting ready to roll over to Soviet turn 2. So we'll see what our objective over here is in just a second. We'll bring you guys back after that. Here's how things are sitting at the end of Soviet turn 2. The T-54s have moved up and claimed this objective. That squad has moved up and further secured that objective. The IS-3s are moving around to try and get to the flank of my King Tigers. The 130s have decided to abandon the field and get into the action. The 122s are just still holding back there. The IS-7s are creeping up to try and get into range. The Soviets bounced some shells off of these King Tigers, those King Tigers, and these IS-3s here tried to go for the Scorpions but couldn't quite hit their marks this turn around. But the Soviets are getting in a good position for their next round of fire. We'll see if the Germans can send some firepower back their way, because we are getting into close ranges now. The Soviets are still holding both objectives, so that means they have a score of 9-0 for the Germans. So I'm either going to have to get in range and try and take some of these objectives or really pump out some firepower. So right now the Soviet numbers are definitely helping them out. So we will move on to Germans turn 2 and see how we can counter this. Okay, at the end of German turn 2, these King Tigers moved a regular tactical speed up to here to contest this objective. They took out one of these T-54s. The Jagd Tigers failed to do anything this turn. The Scorpions took out another one. Over here, this unit of King Tigers and the E-100 took out 4 of these T-54s. So they're looking a little depleted. The King Tigers there, they blitzed up to that point. And then at the end of the round, the Jagd Tigers failed a shoot and scoot. So we were able to capture 1 point for this objective, and the Soviets 1 point for contesting, and then 3 points for still holding that. So they are sitting at 13 points to 1 point of the Germans. So the Germans are down in points right now, but the chaff for the Soviets is starting to thin out. So we're just dealing with the big guys now. So we'll see how we go into Soviet turn 3. All right, we'll catch you guys back up after that. Okay, here we are at the end of Soviet turn 3. These T-54s came around to the side and destroyed one of these King Tigers. The IS-3s took out another one. The rest of the Soviet lines.
It was the other ice T-54s that took out the other Tiger.
Oh, these guys? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, these guys cranked their turrets around and took one out. These guys, they bounced off. That's right. And then the IS-7 tried to go for the Scorpions, hiding behind the fence, and didn't manage to do anything. The other unit of IS-7s, they bounced some shells off of these King Tigers. So the Soviets are still holding that objective there, and we're both contesting this one. So the Soviets are up to 17 points to 2 points for the Germans. So we'll see if the Germans can come back. Hopefully we can do something about these T-54s here, and then maybe something about these guys. All right, we'll bring you guys back after German turn 3. Okay, so coming back on German turn 3, not too bad. The King Tigers turned their turrets around, and with the help of one of the Scorpions, managed to take these T-54s out. The Yag Tigers and the other 2 Scorpions managed to take out 3 of these IS-3s. So now this objective is contested between the Germans and the Soviets. Over here, these King Tigers, they failed a blitz, so they moved up to contest this objective and bailed out one of the T-54s over there. Losing my voice. The E-100 bailed out an IS-7 over here, and then he did a shoot and scoot because he's aware of the other unit of IS-3s creeping around the buildings there. So the Germans got 3 points for destroying this unit of T-54s, and then we have 2 contested objectives. So the Soviets are up to 19 points to 7 of the Germans, but we're starting to weed out some of the Soviet units a little bit. So we'll see how things keep going, because this guy's got 1 tank left, and then we've got 2 bailed out over there. So hopefully if they keep failing their remount tests, we'll be all right. All right, so we will go over to Soviet turn 4. So this is where things are at the end of Soviet turn 4. The IS-3 here managed to take out one of the Scorpions. That's a shame. Over here, these T-54s took out one of... Oh, I'm sorry, no, not the T-54s. They missed. It was these IS-3s that snuck around the back, took out one of the King Tigers. And then the ISU-130s, they took out another one, hitting him in the side. The IS-7s bounced some shells off of the front of the King Tigers. So, but by taking out that guy there, which we couldn't bounce to another tank, that took us out of contesting that objective over there. So now the Soviets are back to holding that objective, but we are still contesting this one over here. The Germans are up to 8 points. And how many for the Soviets?
23.
23. So it's definitely weighing in favor of the Soviets, but we are going to keep going and see if maybe the Germans can turn this around. Though I don't know. The Soviets may have climbed ahead too far in the numbers. But we'll see where we're at. Let's get over to German turn 4. Okay, here at the end of German turn 4, these King Tigers moved around on top of the objective. They then tried to take out this IS-3, but couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So I had to put all the Yag Tigers into him and eventually took him out, netting us 3 points for taking out a unit. The Yag Tigers blitzed up to here, and then they did a shoot and scoot up to here. What's left of the Scorpions went after the ISU 130s and took out 3 of them. We didn't go for the IS-7 because our shells can't get through him. Over here, those King Tigers successfully passed their cross test to get through all that debris, tried to pump some shots into the back of those T-54s and failed, and then the E-100 took one of them out. So that is where we sit. The Germans netted another 4 points for contesting that objective and holding this one. So we are up to 12 points to 24 for the Soviets. So Soviets are at double points, but we are still holding firm. So we will go on to Soviet turn 5. Oh, that was an epic turn 5 for the Soviets. These IS-3s successfully came around the corner and took out the E-100, a big loss for the Germans. Over here, with help from the IS-7s and the T-54s shooting into the side, the Germans lost those 2 King Tigers over there, netting the Soviets another 3 points, so that's 6 points altogether for destroyed units. The Soviets also controlled that objective. So that brought them up to 33 points. The Germans are still clinging on to this objective for now, giving them a total of 15 points. The IS-7 general over here bounced some shells off of the Jagdpanthers. But that is pretty brutal. I think we're going to go ahead and call it there in favor of the Soviets. Well done, my Russian friend. So that is pretty brutal. We're definitely having fun with the new late war Leviathan / War of Unification tanks. Some fun stuff in there. The Soviets definitely have some well-needed heavy hitters. They were definitely the king of numbers in the beginning of Clash of Steel, but now with the IS-7s creeping up, they've got some heavy armor and some heavy firepower. Anything you want to say?
I think I definitely really like some of the new tanks. The E-100 is definitely a bit of a beast with its massive firepower, and the Scorpions are definitely a nice cheap anti-tank 18.
Yeah, the Scorpions are kind of fun. I like the E-100, but the fact that it doesn't have a moving rate of fire, so you either blitz and then do a shoot and scoot afterwards, or otherwise it's not going anywhere. So that kind of limited me quite a bit as to what I was going to do with it.
As for me, I definitely like the T-54-3s since they have a bit more firepower as compared to the other T-54s. And the IS-7s are definitely nice as a big heavy hitter tank for the Soviets.
Yeah, I think that's a fun addition for the Soviets with that giant pancake turret on the front. So here's just a little comparison for anybody who's looking at the late war Leviathans or War for Unification. So that is a Panzer III hull, and if this thing is made to scale, that is the turret for the E-100. Almost the size of a Panzer III. That's just awesome. All right, so there we are. We have another game of Clash of Steel under our belts. I had a lot of fun with this one, even though the Russians came in hard and never let up. Always a fun matchup. What do you think we want to play for our next game?
Some 40k would be nice.
Yeah, we haven't played 40k in a little bit. Several armies that need to get some dust knocked off of them. So we'll probably be back with some 40k later this month. All right, anything else you want to add?
I think I might be good.
All right, I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Перелесками, за полустанками, за чертежами.
Reinforcements.